One of the great environments that UNC has to offer is the Recreation Center. It has countless things to do and activities to try and learn. It has everything from treadmills to dumbbells to squat racks. But something that many people at UNC don't know is that the Rec Center is free to all faculty, students, and staff. Today we will break down what it's like in the UNC Rec Center, and later in the show, we'll have a guest on to talk about her own experiences in the gym. There are so many different ways to work out in the Greeley Rec Center, with different secluded areas where you can work out alone or with friends. I love to work out on the upper level of the track since it has all of the equipment I could ever need. After a long workout, I sometimes do my cardio routine on the rowing machine.
I feel like this is a safe place for anyone to come in. If you're just starting out or if you're a veteran and working out, I feel like no one's here to judge you. I would just say that anyone who's wanting to look for a place to feel welcome in their own skin, I feel like this is a good place to be at.
I always feel safe and comfortable being in my own skin here. Overall, I think the atmosphere of the Rec Center we try to make as welcoming as possible. We're the first face that people see when you come into the gyms.
We at the front desk are always welcoming and accepting anyone who walks in here.
Yeah, and we try to encourage people as much as possible to get them in here. We do all sorts of different informal rec games that are free for students, so if anybody is ever interested in those, they should come out to them. They're a lot of fun.
Welcome back to the UNC Rec Center PBL. Now, I'd like to interview a fellow journalism student with some first-hand experience in the Rec Center. On the show now, we have the very talented Gabby Lopez. Thank you so much for joining us
Thank
today.
you for having me.
To start off, can you tell us a little bit about how you started lifting weights?
Yeah, so in 2020, I started to go to this gym, and I started off by going to this fitness classes where I kind of got introduced to what it was like to work out and stuff like that, and that's how I started to feel a little more comfortable going to the gym by myself.
Okay, and what motivated you to pursue it further?
So I've always loved fitness and the whole staying active thing.
Yeah.
So and I've also was going through some mental difficulties at that time.
Yeah.
So working out was kind of like my therapy back then, and still is now. But back then was like
for
the
sure.
best. So.
Right. And have you faced any setbacks in your time as a powerlifter?
As of now, I really haven't, since I'm still not being introduced, but I'm kind of in the middle, kind of like my time. So I haven't, thankfully, had any setbacks yet.
Right.
So I hope I don't have any yet. But
of course. And then how would you describe the atmosphere of the Rec Center to someone who maybe has never been?
Yeah, well, honestly, I think it's really inclusive. There's a bunch of different people, different levels. You see the people who are just starting to begin their fitness journey. You see people who actually know and have been in the industry for like 9 years.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a really diverse environment and inclusive. So I think it's really, really, really cool to have that.
When you're at the rec, how do you feel while you're lifting?
I feel really, really included again. Yeah, it's a big space. It has a great equipment, so I think it's a really cool place to lift and to meet new people, meet new friends, and
That's awesome. Would you say that it's different than your gym back home?
Yes, it totally is. My gym back home is like super small, and there's usually the same people every time you go at the same time. And usually here is like you see a different people every day.
Yeah.
You see the usuals, but it's cool to see this new person come in, and you're like, wow, like that's cool. They're getting themselves better. So like that's really cool.
Is there anything you'd like to say to anyone out there who's maybe considering going to the rec and working out that hasn't?
Yeah, I would say go for it, honestly. And you might feel intimidated at first, but honestly, everyone is just trying to make themselves better. So feel free to go. And honestly, fitness just makes you feel like a badass. So I feel like that's super dope. So yeah, just go for it, do it, and don't care what others say.
Right, that's awesome. Well, we really appreciate you having you on the show today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you for watching our PBL. We had a blast making it this semester, and we hope to see you again next year.